Yeah, so this is something I spoke briefly about in my opening remarks. I've spent a lot of time in Uganda. Almost anywhere else but Uganda, I've been just a visitor for a few weeks or a few months at a time. And so there are, well over half of the countries on the continent that I've never been to. Most of the countries, even the countries I've been to, maybe I've only been there for a week or 2 weeks. And so I don't think I have any, idea of what a vision for Africa would be, because I don't know, I have very little experience of large parts of the continent. I have a vision, to be living here in Cambridge and based here in Cambridge now, I'm also not quite sure that it's, somebody who's in my position. I don't think it's really perhaps their responsibility or right to have a vision for Africa. I do believe that there are sort of major issues that probably will need to be dealt with if things are going to go in a positive direction. I work a lot on climate change, or I'm working more on climate change these days. I don't know anything about climate change. I'm reading a lot of science about it to try to learn. But I think that for me, I see climate change as one of the things that is going to probably have a very significant impact on the entire continent, and that everybody who's involved in politics or society or economy or culture in Africa should probably be thinking about in one way or another. And so for me, I guess that one's vision of Africa must necessarily come out of one's vision of the parts of the continent and the places that one works and lives and is invested in and has a stake in. So, and because I often realize how sort of Uganda-centric my understanding is of Africa. And there are things that I've seen in Uganda and that I've experienced and that I take for granted that then I sort of assume apply elsewhere, and I get across a border in whatever direction I realize they don't apply at all. So I guess my vision would be one. My basic point is I don't have a vision. I don't think I can have a vision for Africa. But what I do think we can have is an idea of the kinds of really significant global challenges and problems that large parts of the continent are going to face, that large parts of the world are going to face, amongst them, for example, climate change, which is what I'm working on. And we can think about how to bring people together across the continent and between Africa and Europe, which is where I work now, in order to get people to think about solutions to these and how to deal with them going into the future.